They say blood is thicker than water, but in the rap game, silence is more expensive than loyalty. As you're watching this, the King of the South is watching his legacy crumble, not from an enemy at the gates, but from the heir to his own throne. We have just received a leaked report that has sent the entire industry into a state of cardiac arrest. King Harris has officially signed the papers. He hasn't just walked away from his family, he has walked directly into the camp of his father's most dangerous rival. While T.I. was in the studio recording diss tracks to defend his dignity, his own son was in a soundproof room in New York, sitting across from a production crew handpicked by 50 Cent. The documents we've seen, marked strictly confidential, confirm that King Harris has recorded a 4-hour tell-all interview for the surviving T.I. documentary. This isn't just a sit-down, it's a public execution. King has reportedly handed over the one thing T.I. feared most, the truth about what happened behind closed doors in 2021. But why now? And what did 50 Cent promise him to make him flip? You won't believe the first words out of King's mouth when the cameras started rolling. To understand why a son would sell out his own father to a man who has spent 2 decades trying to destroy him, you have to understand the toxic history of Curtis 50 Cent, Jackson, and Clifford T.I. Harris. This isn't just a new internet beef. This is a generational war. Since 2003, these two have circled each other like sharks in the same water. 50 Cent, the man who survived 9 bullets, built an empire on the ruins of his enemies. Ja Rule, Benzino, Rick Ross, he didn't just beat them, he erased them from the culture. And for 20 years, T.I. has been the one target he couldn't quite pin down. T.I. represented everything 50 resented: Southern royalty, a polished image, and a family that seemed unbreakable. But the cracks started showing years ago. Remember 2007? The machine gun arrest that changed everything. 50 Cent has spent years labeling T.I. a snitch, a government informant, and a fraud. He weaponized the G-Unit brand to make sure that every time T.I. stepped outside, the word cooperation followed him. Then came the next generation, King Harris, a kid who grew up in the blinding spotlight of the family hustle. We watched him grow from a curious child into a volatile, outspoken young man. But while T.I. tried to maintain the image of a disciplined, wise patriarch, King was a loose cannon. 50 Cent, the ultimate predator of hip-hop narratives, wasn't just watching T.I., he was watching King. He saw a young man who felt ignored, a son who wanted his own spotlight, and a family brand that was built on a foundation of hidden secrets. The tension reached a boiling point in early 2026 during Super Bowl weekend. When T.I. claimed 50 ducked the smoke for a Versus battle, 50 didn't go to the recording booth. He went to the archives. He started posting unflattering pictures of T.I.'s wife, Tiny, mocking her appearance and dragging the women of the Harris household into the mud. This is where King Harris made his first fatal mistake. He stepped up to defend his mother, but he did it by attacking 50 Cent's late mother, Sabrina Jackson. The world gasped. In the streets, you don't mention 50's mother. It's the ultimate no-fly zone. T.I. knew the danger. He publicly scolded King, trying to pull his son back from the ledge. But it was too late. 50 Cent didn't want an apology. He wanted a recruit. Insiders claim that while T.I. was lecturing King about respect and codes, 50 Cent's team was sliding into King's DMs with a different message. Your dad is protecting his image, not you. Come tell your side of the story. Be the king, not just the prince. The stage was set for the greatest betrayal in hip-hop history. T.I. thought he was fighting a rap battle. He didn't realize he was losing his own son to the very man trying to bury him. And the evidence of how King finally flipped, the moment he sat in that chair and looked into 50 Cent's cameras, is more chilling than anyone imagined. But what exactly was on that contract? And what was the point of no return for King Harris? The answer lies in a leaked midnight meeting that changed the Harris bloodline forever. The betrayal happened on a cold Tuesday night, March 10th, 2026. While T.I. was busy hosting an elite private dinner in the heart of Atlanta, celebrating the success of his latest single, Let Him Know, King Harris was nowhere to be found. His chair was empty.
His phone was dead.
His location on the family tracking app had been ghosted for over 6 hours. At that exact moment, 500 miles away in New York City, a blacked-out SUV pulled into the private underground garage of the G-Unit Film and Television headquarters. We have obtained a leaked text message, reportedly from a high-level assistant within 50 Cent's inner circle, that captured the chilling reality of that night. The message, sent at 2:14 a.m., simply read, "The kid just signed. He's tired of being the scapegoat. He's giving us the 2021 tapes. It's over for Tip." Can you imagine the gravity of that moment? Your own flesh and blood, the son you raised in front of the world on reality TV, sitting in a mahogany row office, signing a multi-million-dollar production contract with the man who has spent 2 decades trying to put you in a federal jumpsuit. But it gets deeper. Our sources say this wasn't just a standard sit-down interview. King reportedly arrived at the studio wearing a G-Unit South hoodie, a blatant, cold-blooded middle finger to his father's legacy. He sat in that interview chair for 6 hours on the first day alone. He didn't just talk. He performed a forensic autopsy on the Harris household. He reportedly detailed what he called an atmosphere of terror during the 2021 sexual assault investigations. He spoke about hush money he allegedly saw being moved between various shell companies and the private strategy sessions where T.I. and his legal team discussed how to make inconvenient evidence disappear. But here is the first major twist that has left the hip-hop world paralyzed with shock. King didn't just turn on his father. He reportedly turned the cameras on his mother, Tiny. In a moment of raw, unfiltered emotion, King allegedly described a household where the family hustle was nothing more than a carefully curated PR front for a much darker, much more unstable reality. He claimed he was weaponized and forced to defend his parents on social media just to keep the family's brand value from plummeting. "I was the human shield," King reportedly told the producers, his voice cracking under the weight of the revelation. "They sent me out to the front lines to fight their wars while they hid behind non-disclosure agreements and high-priced lawyers." But the absolute nuclear option in this betrayal? King Harris allegedly handed over a physical hard drive. This wasn't just old photos. Sources claim this drive contains hours of audio recordings King secretly captured on his iPhone during intimate family meetings over the last 3 years. These aren't just heated arguments. These are recorded conversations where the King of the South reportedly discusses the manipulation of public perception regarding the 2021 assault allegations. When 50 Cent reportedly heard the first 30 minutes of these tapes in the editing room, he didn't even say a word. He just leaned back, laughed his iconic, cold laugh, and told his director, "I don't even need to write a script for this. The Sun just gave us the ending." T.I. only found out about the interview when a 30-second teaser was accidentally uploaded to a private G-Unit YouTube link before being scrubbed minutes later. But the internet never sleeps. Someone captured the clip. It shows King Harris, looking older and more tired than we've ever seen him, staring directly into the lens and saying, "Dad, you always told me to be a true king." Well, a king doesn't hide behind lies. And the truth I'm about to tell? It's going to burn the whole house down. The fallout inside the Harris estate was immediate and violent. But while T.I. was calling his lawyers to stop the broadcast, he didn't realize that King had already leaked a second, even more damaging folder to the one place T.I. couldn't control, the dark web of the hip-hop blogs. Just when T.I. thought he could litigate his way out of this nightmare, the second bomb dropped, and this one didn't come from a courtroom. On March 15th, a mysterious, password-protected Google Drive link began circulating among the top-tier hip-hop bloggers and investigative journalists. The folder was titled with a chilling simplicity, "The Heir's Revenge." Inside were grainy, raw snippets of the interview King Harris gave to 50 Cent's production team. This wasn't a tactical leak by 50's PR firm. This was a rogue move by King himself. He wanted the world to know he wasn't just talking, he was testifying. In one particularly haunting clip, King is heard describing a late-night incident from 2021 where T.I. allegedly stood over him and said, "If you ever speak on what happens in this house, you aren't a Harris anymore. You're an enemy." The internet didn't just break, it evaporated. Within minutes, #KingBetrayal was trending globally, surpassing even the most viral Super Bowl moments. But the real reveal, The one that shifted the entire narrative from a family feud to a criminal investigation was buried in the subfolders. King Harris didn't just flip for a 50-cent paycheck. He flipped because he claims he has physical proof of a second, hidden set of allegations that have never touched the mainstream news. He told the documentary crew that there are victims T.I. paid off and intimidated into silence, who are now ready to come forward because King reached out to them personally, offering them protection under the G-Unit umbrella. But then, the most unexpected and devastating blow hit the news feed. Drake reportedly posted a cryptic, pitch-black Instagram story with a single chess piece, the king, knocked over on its side. The caption? Checkmate from the inside. In the high-stakes world of rap optics, this was the ultimate signal. T.I. is no longer just in a beef, he is isolated. He is on a sinking island, and his own son is the one who took the last lifeboat. The industry backlash was instantaneous. Reports are coming in that corporate partners for the Trap Music Museum in Atlanta have sent immediate notice of review, emails to T.I.'s management. Promoters for his highly anticipated Kill the King retirement tour are allegedly pulling out in droves, fearing that the venues will be swarmed by protesters led by the very individuals King is bringing into the light. And then, the most chilling detail of all surfaced. In the final seconds of a leaked drive folder, there is a voice memo. It's King's voice, whispering into his phone, recorded during a private moment at the G-Unit studios. He says, "The world thinks the 2021 cases are the problem. They don't even know about 2005. They don't know what Dad did in the dark that night in Vegas. 50 knows. And now I know too." The 2005 incident, a year T.I. has always described as his pinnacle. But King is suggesting a darker truth, a truth that involves a life being lost, and a decades-long cover-up that involves some of the most powerful names in the industry. T.I.'s legacy isn't just under attack, it's being systematically erased from the history books. As the world prepares for the premiere of the full documentary, a new question has emerged that has the entire Harris household in a state of absolute panic. If King is willing to expose the 2005 secret, who else is he taking down with him? Because in the court of public opinion, a son's testimony is a death sentence. And for T.I., the clock is ticking toward a reality he never thought possible, a throne made of glass, shattered by his own heir. The world is no longer just watching a rap beef, it's witnessing a cultural civil war. As the leaked clips of King Harris's interview began to saturate every corner of the internet, the reaction wasn't just loud, it was violent. The digital landscape has split into two radicalized camps, and the tension is thick enough to trigger a blackout. On one side, you have the Harris loyalists. These are the fans who grew up on trap music and urban legend, the ones who see T.I. as the undisputed architect of a movement. To them, King Harris isn't a whistleblower, he is the ultimate Judas. They are flooding King's Instagram comments with millions of snake emojis. They are calling him King the Snitch, claiming that no matter what a father does behind closed doors, a son should never hand the keys of the castle to the enemy. They believe 50 Cent, the master manipulator, has systematically brainwashed a young, emotionally unstable man to settle a 20-year grudge. The loyalists are even burning their vintage T.I. merch in viral TikTok videos, not because of what T.I. allegedly did, but because they can't stand to see a family dynasty dismantled by its own heir. But on the other side, a massive, unstoppable wave of support for King Harris is rising. A new generation of fans, the ones who value accountability over the code, are hailing King as a hero and a revolutionary. They say he is finally breaking a decades-long cycle of silence and standing up for victims who are silenced by money and NDAs. To them, King isn't betraying his father. He is saving his own soul. The industry's heavy hitters are equally polarized, and their reactions are sending the panic meter off the charts. Boozy Badass went on a legendary 40-minute Instagram live rant, screaming at his phone until his voice gave out. "You don't do that to your pops." Boozy yelled, his eyes wide with disbelief. "I don't care if he's wrong. That's your blood." 50 Cent is a demon for this. He's using a child to kill a king. But then came the counterstrike. Rick Ross, 50 Cent's longtime rival, who has recently been trolling T.I. as well, reportedly posted a photo of a luxury yacht with a simple, devastating caption: "The truth is the only boat that doesn't sink. Sit down, tip." The kid is talking. Major news outlets like CNN and TMZ have shifted their coverage from music news to criminal investigation. We've seen a fake but terrifyingly realistic CNN headline circulating that reads, "The fall of Atlanta's first family. Is the Harris empire radioactive?" And radioactive is exactly the word. Corporate sponsors for the Trap Music Museum have reportedly begun scrubbing T.I.'s name from their promotional materials. Labels are allegedly telling their artists to pause any collaborations with the Harris family until the documentary officially drops. T.I. has become a ghost in the very city he helped build. But the most deafening part of this entire explosion? The silence of Tiny Harris. While her son is burning the house down and her husband is fighting for his life, Tiny has vanished from social media. Insiders claim she is trapped in the middle of an impossible choice: her husband's legacy or her son's truth. Reports suggest she was seen leaving the Atlanta estate in a private car with several suitcases, fueling rumors that the betrayal has officially split the marriage as well. This isn't just a news cycle anymore. It's a reckoning. Every rapper who ever stepped foot in T.I.'s home is now looking over their shoulder, wondering if they were caught on King's secret tapes. 50 Cent has successfully turned the entire hip-hop industry into a game of Among Us, where nobody knows who the next traitor will be. And just as the public debate reached its peak, a new leak surfaced from the G-Unit editing room, a leak that suggests King Harris isn't the only one who sat in that chair. You thought this was just about King? You thought King was the only one in that soundproof room in New York? Brace yourselves. Because the final revelation, the one that has T.I.'s legal team filing for emergency protection orders, is that King wasn't alone. Leaked production notes from the G-Unit editing suite suggest that King Harris has brought his older brother, Domani, into the fold. While Domani hasn't signed a public contract yet, reports say he was present during the filming of the most sensitive segments. If both sons, the two pillars of the Harris legacy, turn against the father, T.I. doesn't just lose a rap beef, he loses his soul. But that's not even the biggest twist. At the very end of the leaked interview snippet that surfaced on the dark web, the producer asks King, "Is there anything else the world needs to know before we wrap?" King Harris looks directly into the camera. He doesn't blink. He doesn't look away. He says, "The documentary is called Surviving T.I. and Tiny, but people need to ask why 50 Cent is doing this for free. He's not doing it for the money. He's doing it because of what my dad did to him in 2005 that the world never found out about. Something that involves a life being lost." Loud cinematic boom. The screen turns bright red. A life being lost? In 2005, the year T.I. became the King of the South. The clip cuts to black before he can finish the sentence. 50 Cent has the answer. King has the evidence. And T.I. has nowhere left to run. Was this always the plan? Was the 50 versus T.I. beef just a 20-year-long con for this exact moment of family destruction? Is King Harris a victim of his environment, or is he a cold-blooded pawn in a much larger game of industry chess? Right now, T.I. is reportedly in an emergency lockdown meeting with a high-profile criminal defense attorney who specializes in federal cases. The rumors are spreading that T.I. is preparing to leave the country before the documentary officially premieres on a major streaming platform. But with 50 Cent controlling the narrative, the algorithm, and the airwaves, there is no place on earth he can hide where the cameras won't find him. The Surviving T.I. documentary isn't just a movie anymore. It's a countdown to a funeral for a legacy. And the clock is ticking. We are currently tracking a lead about a second leaked interview involving a former member of T.I.'s security team who confirms the 2005 story. You will not believe what they claim is buried in the history of that night. This is the most insane betrayal we have ever covered on this channel. The legacy of T.I. is hanging by a thread, and his own son is the one holding the scissors. But we want to hear from you. Is King Harris a hero for telling the truth? Or is he the ultimate traitor for siding with 50 Cent? Does 50 Cent have the right to use a man's child against him? Or has he finally crossed the ultimate line? And what do you think happened in 2005? Drop a comment right now. We are reading every single one, and we want to know whose side you are on. Hashtag Team Tip or hashtag Team King. Don't forget to smash that like button if you want us to keep digging into this 2005 incident. We have a source trying to get us the full transcript, and as soon as we have it, we are going live. Subscribe and hit that notification bell right now. You do not want to miss our next update. We are hearing that TI is preparing a video response that will end the conversation forever. We'll be the first to break it down.
Stay tuned.
The truth is coming out, and it's uglier than we ever imagined. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next update, if the industry is still standing.